Let's see if it will mess up. If I try to flip it upside down, let's see if it's gonna, oh wait, we don't have a, yeah, let's try to change this. Let's make this a down facing one and see if it still works. Okay, it looks like my focus obviously is gonna be in the wrong spot. My directrix is in the wrong spot. So if we wanted to change this, we would have to go back and kind of change the direction that these are going. We'd have to do a minus P, and we'd have to do a plus P. Let's get rid of this guy. Okay, so this is our downward facing parabola. Let's change up some of these slider numbers here. Let's change this to -4, let's say. Okay, -4. And let's change the K to 5. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. And let's change our p-value to 3. Okay, so let's take a look. We have our vertex at -4, 5, right? So -4, 5, there's our vertex. Okay. Our focus is going to be 3 units away, right? Because P is 3. P is the distance from vertex to focus. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the directrix should also be 3 away from the vertex. 1, 2, 3. Okay, awesome. Now, what we also know is that if we take this number P and we multiply it by that 4, we're going to get our focal width. So the negative means it's going down, but just 4 times P is going to be 12. Okay, let's look at this. So here's the focus. Our focal width is going to be right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 12 total. So focal width is 12. If we wanted to write the equation, now obviously these are filling in the numbers right here for this guy. We don't have to do that. But just so that you can see what it would look like, we're going to have x minus h, right? So x minus a -4. There's a minus in the formula. The 4 is negative. So when we subtract a negative number, that's going to have the equivalent of being x plus 4. Okay, equals -4p, right? -4 times 3, which is actually going to give us -12. So let's just type that in. And then we're going to have y minus k, which is y minus 5 in this case. Okay, so you'll notice that now the purple graph matches perfectly up with our red graph. These are the same graph. So if you fill in these numbers into this equation, that's what you get. This one I can't change though. This is just set. This one I can change by moving my sliders, which is kind of cool. And again, we kind of set it up so that the focus and directrix would go along for the ride, which is kind of cool. So we can change our vertex and we can change our focal width. Kind of neat. Now, we kind of spent a long time on this already. I don't want to spend too much more time. I do want to look just real quickly at what would happen if we made a horizontal graph. And then we'll kind of wrap this up here because we're getting into a longer video. So let's do y minus k over here, and then we'll do x minus h over here. Okay, so we got our parabola, which is cool, and let's set our h and our k. So let's go -4, 5. Okay, so we're still at the right spot here, but our focus and our directrix are off. Let's make this a right facing, we'll just make it easy for this one. So if we wanted to do that, HK is still going to be the vertex, that's fine. But what we want is we want our focus out to the right of the vertex because this is opening to the right. So instead of adding the p-value or subtracting the p-value from the k, this is going to go up and down. We want to add or subtract that p-value from the h. And since we're going to the right, we're actually going to add that p-value. So we're going to go plus p. Okay, and now our focus is in the right place. Let's make that a nice whole number. We'll go 3 again. We now need to fix our directrix, obviously. So let's go back and make this as an x equals, so it's a vertical line. And again, we want to be behind the x value of the vertex. So we got to take the x value of the vertex, which would be h, and we want to be behind it, so we're going to subtract p. Okay. And that is how you would set it up if you want to make sliders where the focus and the directrix will follow. So let's mess with it. Let's change it up. Let's make H1, and let's make K2. Okay, so my vertex should be at 1, 2. 1, 2, check. Okay, my focal width, or excuse me, my p-value, that's the distance between the vertex and the focus, is now 1, 2, 3. And this way it's 1, 2, 3 as well. So that's kind of cool. Focal width should be 4 times this, right? It should be 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, focal width is going to measure how wide your parabola is through the focus. Okay. Let's change that up real quick. Let's make it 4. Okay, notice that my focal width is changing, and my focus and directrix are also moving to match, which is kind of fun. Okay, so there we go. Now the p-value is 4, so the vertex is 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the focus, or vice versa. The focus is 4 away from the vertex. Also, notice the directrix, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 away from the vertex. Now our focal width should be 4 times 4, or 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Awesome. So that's kind of fun. If you are, still struggling with focal form, this is a really good exercise. Walking through this and trying to understand this is a really good exercise for you. And you can, if you want to just kind of copy this template, this format, you can. If you want an extension activity, if you're bored and you just want to do something, try to figure out if you can make a left-facing parabola and see if you can get your focus and your directrix to match. Because that would be, if you can understand that, then you're in pretty good shape. But I'll leave that for you guys to practice. Okay, so those are the 4 forms. We're gonna, again, tomorrow, we're gonna do a little bit more algebraically, where we actually convert between the forms. Some of those strategies we're gonna use are factoring and completing the square, so we can go back and forth between those forms. Again, there are a lot of them, and that is, that can be kind of tricky, but they're all very useful because they give us different information. Whether it's the y-intercept, or the form that we use for the quadratic formula, whether it's the x-intercepts, whether it's the transformations on the parent function or the vertex, or whether it's the focal width, all of these have an application, which is pretty neat. So check that out. You're going to take a lesson attendance quiz just to show that you kind of understand, where these pieces go. So good luck with that. And yeah, play around in Desmos and see what you can come up with, see what you can do. It's pretty cool. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.